I was hired to translate at a business dinner, but the CEO didn't know I understood his private conversation with his assistant. Now his company is ruined. As a freelance Japanese English translator, I am used to being invisible in business meetings. Last month, a major tech company hired me to translate during a high-stakes acquisition dinner with Japanese executives. The American CEO, Mr. Preston, specifically requested someone with basic translation skills only. Red flag number 1. During pre-dinner introductions, Mr. Preston's assistant whispered, "She's perfect, just pretty enough to look professional but not distracting, and she won't understand the technical stuff anyway." I've been translating technical patents for 7 years, but I smiled and nodded. The meeting began smoothly. The Japanese executives were interested in acquiring Preston's software company for $40 million. As dinner progressed, Preston excused himself for a bathroom break, taking his assistant with him. They didn't notice me entering the restroom area as they stood in the hallway. Preston laughed, saying in English, "These idiots have no idea our software has a critical security flaw. By the time they discover it, we'll be rich and it'll be their problem." His assistant asked, "Won't they sue when they find out? The contract protects us. Besides, they'll never trace it back to us. We'll blame it on a coding oversight when they returned." I continued translating perfectly, keeping my face neutral. But when the Japanese CEO asked about security protocols, I translated Preston's generic reassurances word for word, then added in Japanese, "He's lying. Here is a critical security flaw they're hiding." I overheard them discussing it in the hallway. The room went silent. Then the Japanese CEO asked me in Japanese to explain exactly what I'd heard. Preston, noticing something was wrong, demanded to know what we were discussing. I smiled and translated, "They're asking about your recent system upgrades." The acquisition was canceled the next day. 6 weeks later, Preston's company was investigated for fraud. Yesterday, I received a thank you gift from the Japanese CEO minus and a job offer with double my usual rate. Turns out, being underestimated has its advantages.